Hello. All right, we're live. I'm showing this off for posterity. Um, we're gonna be showing off Scully today. So the idea is, what is Scully? Um, how do I add it to my Angular project? The idea of what is Scully, I'm gonna kind of leave for another day. Um, I I'm not sure that's what today is about. I don't think that we're gonna show off what Scully is today, why you should use the JAMStack. I wanted to just kind of show people how to use it. I wanted people to see how not hard it is to add and how anyone can do it. Okay. So right now it runs in Angular 9 and we're adding Angular support as we speak as well. So let me kind of kick this off and kind of show everybody how to add this to their project. So let me share my screen. Screen share. On that screen. No, not that screen. Share that screen. Okay, cool. All right. Okay. So I have an Angular project. It's a pretty simple one. I'm running it. I've got ng-serve. So if I come over and I load it real quick, this is an app I use to kind of show people how to use reactive Angular. It uses the Marvel API to fetch heroes, which, hold on, how's that even working? Because I don't have the, hold on, how did that even work? Give me 1 second. I gotta stop sharing my screen because I gotta add my API keys back in. Sorry, I removed my API keys before I committed a second ago. Oh, no, I didn't. All right, API keys got committed. So good to know. I gotta delete my Git history now. I gotta remove that. Okay. Now let's go back. Share this screen. I don't know. Okay, here we are. Sharing this screen. All right. So I'm gonna try stay live over here. Please zoom in a bit. Let me get rid of my face. I'll just do this. Okay. Hope that helps. Okay. All right. Thanks for coming though, Alexander, Bajit. Thanks for coming in and checking these out. I'm excited to show this off. Okay. So this is on rearrange my desktops. So this is an Angular app that it hits the Angular CLI, the Marvel API, and you can get heroes, page 1, page 2, and you can get by 25, you can by 10, you can go by 100. But anyway, that's what this app does. You can click on them, and it will kind of show you the details of the hero, right? So Abyss doesn't have a description in the API, but she is part of 8 stories, and I can go back to all. Okay. So I was thinking to myself, it would be great if I could pre-render all of these pages so that when the app loads, and let's kind of look at the app loading. I'm going to make my dev tools much bigger so you can see this on the live stream. Let's do a refresh. So the request to localhost, 200 bytes, runtime, 200 bytes. That can't be right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So like vendor, I don't know why it says size 213 bytes because it's much bigger. The vendor bundle it's on gzips and everything, so it's much bigger. These are very big packages. Okay. In fact, let's get rid of the size and add it back in because that was weird, yo. All right. I'm going to disable the cache and do a refresh. There we go. All right. So apparently if you disable the cache, you'll get the real sizes. Okay. So the page, the HTML was 1K. The runtime was 6K. The polyfills were 140K. The styles were 16K. The vendors 3 meg. And the main is 66K. So when I gzip this and minify this, it gets much smaller, but it's still significant. Maybe I can get it down to 200 or 300 meg or 200 or 300K, right? Okay. So I want to get to the point though where I can just have this page already rendered without having to download any of that JavaScript. So we're going to use Scully for that. This is what the JAMStack is, okay? Facundo, thanks for coming. Marcos, gracias por venir. And we're gonna kind of walk this through. So I'm gonna install Scully here, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do, let's kill this guy, and let's RM RF node modules, just because I'm gonna delete my node modules just because a second ago I had Scully installed and I didn't remove them yet. So let's remove the node modules and then we'll do an npm install. So it's gonna take a second. And then we'll be back to where we started. Daniel from Colombia, thanks for coming, man. All right, so give this a second. Everyone's done this before with an Angular CLI project. We all know how long it takes. Takes a second. All right, so here we are. We're done. Thank you. Appreciate it. Everything got prettier, so we're good. So if I go back, so now we're back kind of where we started. This is kind of where the app was a second ago. I can ng serve, but before we ng serve, we're gonna add Scully to our project just so everyone can kind of see how easy it is. So I'm gonna say ng add Scully io/Scully, or sorry, init. Sorry, Scully io init, and this init installs a schematic that's going to take care of setting up your project for you. It's going to do quite a few things for you. So let's give it a second to kind of walk through that. So, and it's going to kind of talk to you. Scully lets you know what it's doing. So, it's like, hey, I added the dependencies. I imported the HTTP client into the root module, updated your package, added a polyfill, updated your app component, and now it's doing an npm install real quick. And it added my Scully config. You can see this down here. Now this Scully config is kind of where all the beef, like all the contents of Scully is going to happen. This is how you integrate with Scully. And then it did one more update to the package JSON to add some npm scripts for me. So that's kind of what happened in this npm install. So so at this point, I could render it real quick, but instead I'll just show everyone real quick kind of what the Scully config looks like. So it's actually pretty simple. I'm just right now just pointing my root app to I'm pointing my root app to the source app folder, and then I don't have any routes, and I'll get into a second. I'm going to generate this app, and I'm going to show you that it's not fully working like I thought. And I'm going to show you kind of how to create a quick plugin. Okay, so let's just go ahead and we're gonna run Scully. So to run Scully, you have to do a build, and then when you're done, you can say npm run Scully. Okay, so those are kind of the two commands you need to do. Scully works off of your build directory. So oh yeah, sorry, let me turn off the banner because I'm blocking the console. I apologize. Okay, sorry. So I'm gonna kill this real quick. Clear. And so I'm just going to run npm or ng build and then do an npm run Scully. And thanks to Bana to Andres for telling me that. Sorry about that, Henry. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so we're doing our build and then we're going to run Scully. Scully needs a built version of your app in order to find all your routes. So that's kind of why the build happens first. And then Scully's going to go through and it's going to look in your build to kind of find all your routes. And my app, it found the routes that it found were it found a route hero ID, but I didn't configure that in here. So it said I'm skipping. I'm not going to render those hero ID routes. But it did render my home page, like my base HTML. So we can go and look at that real quick. And if you guys remember like what the root of the app looked like, let's serve the app real quick. ng serve. And we come back over here. You remember that this is kind of what the base looks like, right? So it renders it with a bunch of heroes and like this stuff. So I want to know, did it render this statically for me? So we're going to go ahead and look in the dist, in the static. And if we look in the index.html, here is the page that Scully has rendered and saved for me. So I can deploy this to production now. Okay. So I'm going to, if I reformat all this code, we can kind of see it a little bit better. So we have this table. It's got the reactive angular header. Like if we remember the reactive angular over here, and we come into, we should have a list of these RX hero badges. So these hero badges are the thing that you see here, right? They have a name in them and the image, and you click on them. So I have that fully pre-rendered. If I serve this folder with like a static file server, that page will load. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm just going to kind of show everyone. I'm going to just do HTTP server. For anyone who's not used HTTP server, this is just a node server that will serve files statically. It's not special at all. Okay. So if I'm just going to serve, hold on. Let's change into that static directory, cd dis static, and we'll say HTTP server, and then we'll say do port 5000. Now, if I come to 5000, localhost 5000, the app runs. And if we look, if I do a refresh, it's got all this, it still requested all the JavaScript. So I still paid a lot of price. So I kind of want to show everyone how fast the page actually loaded though. So if I turn off JavaScript, disable JavaScript, okay. Now if I refresh, you can see the page still rendered even though there's no JavaScript being downloaded, right? This just loaded HTML, CSS, and then all the images. So there's no JavaScript being downloaded anymore. So this page is fully statically rendered. And all I had to do that was build an Angular app, right? So this just took my Angular app. And I didn't build a special version of Angular app to work with this. I just built Angular the way that we write Angular. Okay. So I didn't do anything like outrageous where we're like, oh no, that's crazy. Like it was basically really simple. All right. So now when I click on this, that's going to be broken in this static ungenerated version because I don't have any, it didn't render all of these routes. Okay. So when I go to hero/hero ID, I didn't teach it how to go get all these IDs so that it could render them one at a time. So as it goes through the website, it needs to have a list during the build time to get all those IDs. So that's what we're going to do here real quick. We're going to build a plugin to Scully to teach you how to get IDs from a place. Okay. So that's kind of what I wanted to show off today because it's not very hard at all. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open my Scully and we're going to add a config for this. Okay. So when it sees the route hero/hero ID, and you'll remember when we did our build, it complained that it saw the route in our Angular app, but didn't have any config for that. So now I'm giving it the config that it wanted. Okay. So we're going to say, hey, when you get this, I want you to use the type of plugin called, what should we call this plugin we're about to build? Let's call it Heroes Like Donuts. Okay. So we're making a plugin called Heroes Like Donuts. All right. And that's all that we really need to tell it. It's going to find our plugin and it's going to execute our plugin to do the register to find these IDs. So let me kind of show you how simple it is. I'm just going to grab the Marvel API node module and use it to get the characters. Okay, so that's really all we're going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to import the register plugin function. Okay, and we're going to say this is a router module. This is a router plugin. And we're going to call it Heroes Like Donuts. And the Heroes Like Donuts just takes a simple function. Okay, there's nothing special about this function. And this plugin, it takes two things. It takes the route, and then it takes the config. The config is this object right here. So it's going to inject this to me at runtime. Okay, and this route is the route right here. Okay, so that's essentially what it's going to give me. Okay, so I need to at this point, and from here, I need to return an array of things that look like this. They have a route and like some route in there. This object type is called a handled route. Okay. So I need to make sure this thing returns an array of handled routes. That's the goal here. Or actually it returns a promise of array of handled routes. So, right. So if I say promise.resolve, and I give it this array of handled routes, and I give it, let's go back and get that ID that we were looking at. Okay. And I give it this. So at this point, we've got our plugin. It should resolve to one ID, and then it should render. It should stick that ID in here and go. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's rerun our build. Okay. So I haven't changed my Angular. So when I rebuild this, I'm not going to do a build. I'm just going to do npm run Scully. And plugin here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. I do have to attach a config. Sorry. I forgot Sander makes me do this. Sander's awesome, by the way. Just so everyone knows. Okay. So we're going to make a function called heroes like donuts. Okay. And that's going to be the function we just made. So let's go ahead and get rid of this real quick. Okay. So here's our function. And then because the config that gets passed in, we want everyone to be able to validate the config that they're being given. So I have to say hero likes donuts, and I have to add a config validator to it. Config validator. And I'm not going to do anything in my config validator for right now, okay? So I'm just going to return an empty array. All right. So at this point, now I can run Scully. So we'll say run this guy. All right. I don't know. What's up? Kind of really simple one to find. That's awesome. 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm going to look at my backup code here real quick. Oh, yeah. There we go. Sorry. We're going to go to, so let's go back to our Scully config. Sorry, I forgot I have to make this guy an async function. Okay. So now let's run it. This is awesome. I don't know why it's not working. It's going to make me import these guys. Import config validator and require and register plugin. All right. Now let's try it. Perfect. Kano, are you watching? Well, let me get Kano in here. Kano, get on here. 1 second, I gotta add Kano to this thing. Give me a second. Everyone, Kano's coming. Kano, get in here. Kano's coming. Kano helped write all this stuff. Actually, Sander helped write all this stuff. We made some changes this morning. That's why we're broken. All right, Kano's here, everybody. Kano.
Hey. Yeah.
You're here, bro.
Oh, wait. Okay. I'm close, you too. Perfect.
All right. What's the matter, bro?
Let me check.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so here's one thing.
This is actually, yes, you're importing like
const hero is equal to require.
Yeah.
I forgot that. I forgot we're on node 10.
Yeah,
is that it?
Same problem. When I'm importing the schematic for this, I have the same problem.
All right, let's try this. Come on. Why can't I find
project root missing? Can't find model add Scully. Because let me check.
Bro, we're so close.
Is Scully bin? Oh no, it's okay. Extra config validator. No, okay. You need the structuring.
I do need to do the destruction
Yeah,
up here.
yeah. It's config validator. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take this off. Okay, let's run it. Running again. Dead. I didn't think that would help. I was trying to be a good friend though.
Require. No, it's not. Yes, equal const. Yes, this is okay. Wait.
Oh yeah, dude.
I would
Okay,
check.
it's because I'm dumb. Sorry, everyone.
Oh.
Heroes like dumb. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Crisis averted. When I removed it from here and put it up here, I forgot to put it. All right. So this will all work now. Sorry for. Oh, come on.
Real demo.
No, it's still freaking out.
No, but it's the first line.
It's given there. It doesn't see project root from this thing.
Model not found.
It didn't find this guy.
Let me check. Yes.
All right, I'm gonna do this for right now. See if that helps.
And slash bin.
/bin.
Yeah, because the TypeScript is in Scully. You need the slash bin at the end. Yeah.
There.
Yes.
Nope. Lies.
No modes. Okay. Let me wait. User first is source, React Angular, no model, Scully bin utils.
Yeah.
This is okay.
Yeah.
The URL is okay.
Yeah. It does look okay. Sander, is Sander asleep? Sander gone?
Let me.
Yeah. What version of Scully did I get? npm install at Scully io / Scully at 0.0.45. Come on, bruv. All right. It can't find this thing, man. This is embarrassing.
Give me a second. I'm checking in the. Which version from Scully you are working? The latest?
I use the latest, but I just installed 45 a second ago. So I just installed version 45 a second ago. Someone's asking if it's installed. It's installed. Scully IO. Scully bin. It's there. Index. It's got all the exports we need. Right? Exports.require plugin. Config validator. They're there. All right. This sucks.
Wait.
Okay.
Const config requires Scully bin. No, I'm checking the example, the extra plugin, and use const config validator equals require Scully bin. So don't use this registry plugin, but use the structuring. So
do I need to put destruction?
Yes, this one. Check in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, put the same. Okay. Yeah.
All right. I don't think that'll work, but let's try it.
That the require is at Scully.io/Scully.
So you want me to do node modules?
Yeah, it's strange because
This is why we say it's alpha, everybody. Bin. All right. Okay. This is really frustrating for me. It sees it because it was freaking out before.
Yeah, and it's the require only. The require is the problem. It's strange. Can you just remove all and just only use the first line? Remove all before the first line.
Boom, yo. There you go. Apparently get rid of all the imports. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Got an error. So we got to do hero/that. Okay, sorry. All right, so it worked. It tried to render this page. It got an error, but now we're going to render it again. Okay, so here we go. Sorry, everyone. Apparently, we don't need to import either of these things. It was just me messing up on this. That was the problem. All right, so now we're going to render it. Remember, I said we need to return these handled routes. All right, okay. So now it's like, all right, I found this route and I found this route. So it rendered both of them. So if we come into our dist, we go to this hero with the ID and we look at it. If we format it, we should be able to see which hero it was. Okay, so this hero was A-bomb. A-bomb was the hero that rendered. Okay, so now I can come over here and if I refresh, now A-bomb with JavaScript disabled also renders and I can go back to all, right? So my site's appearing to work. If I click on not A-bomb, where's A-bomb? Which one's A-bomb? That one. If I click on the next one, it's going to die, right? So I didn't render all of them. So I need to teach my plugin, instead of returning a promise, which is one handled route in it, I need to return all the handled routes, okay? So let's go ahead and spend some time in here working with the Marvel API to do this, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do, and Kano's still here because we're friends and he's going to help me out if I get lost. Okay. So we're going to say npm install Marvel API. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to open up this plugin because I forget exactly npm.js Marvel API. Let's go look at this Marvel API. Okay, so this thing, I just have to create the API, and then I can say characters.find all. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, all right. So let's come back to here. So we're gonna say, sorry, one more time. API equals require my Marvel API. Okay, const API is equal to require Marvel API. Okay, so we got the Marvel API. Now inside of our function here, heroes like donuts, we will go ahead and we will do this thing. We'll say const, right? And we will say environment dot, bring in that one, dot Marvel API dot public key. And we will say environment dot Marvel API dot private key. All right. Okay. So now we've configured this thing. So now we're gonna call and get the first 100. Okay. So instead of returning this promise right here, let's go ahead and say, hey, Did I copy that to my page? No, I didn't copy it. All right, so I'm just going to take this and we're just going to return this, okay? Okay. All right. Okay, so it's going to go ahead and get all of them. And we're just going to say, hey, just get the first 100. So start at 0. And now when I run this, this is going to reach. Actually, I do need to dot map dot then this heroes. Actually, it gives me results, right? In this console, I'll log the results real quick. I forget what it is. I think it's results.data.items is what I want. Res.data.items. Let's try that. Okay. Let's see what happens when we log that guy. Sorry. We're going to run Scully. Sorry. Tell Scully to go again. Perfect. I closed the tab. Perfect. npm run Scully. Because I haven't changed my Angular, so I don't have to. Yeah. Good call.
TypeScript.
Yep. Const env is equal to require. If everyone's like, dude, fix this, make it be better. We're working on making it be the other thing. All right. Perfect. Can't find environment. That's awesome. Why can't I find it? Oh yeah, I know why. It's gonna make me do like my full path. Sandra already told me about this. So we'll say users, Frost. What's the path to this project? Source, reactive video.
You write pwd in the terminal.
Right. Okay, there we go. Huh?
I think it's a problem with the require, really.
Fine. I'm going to show everyone my freaking keys. Fine. Everyone gets to see my keys. Actually, I'm just not going to. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I feel weird. I don't want to do it. I feel bad. All right, I'll do it. I'll show you guys my keys. I'm going to have to call Marvel and get new keys because people are just going to take my keys.
You can change the view, put the keys, and press some enter.
Yeah, but they'll still see it here. It's all right. I don't care. I have to trust everyone. All right. So now let's go back to our thing. All right. I'm going to say public key. Private key. All right. Okay. So we got this set up, Connell.
Yeah.
Despite all odds, we got this set up. Let's run this. It should get the first 100 now. Okay. Sorry. It's going to log it. Sorry. Do it. It didn't log it. Okay. Undefined. That's what we got. Okay.
Here in find all, say limit in the function, in the 0.
Yeah, but
9, 8.
I don't need any limit. Where's limit?
Oh,
9, 8?
9, 8. Yeah. Find all, limit. Maybe it's this. Can put 10, maybe.
100.
Oh, okay. 100.
0. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, you're right. Okay, let's try that. I don't think that's going to help me. I don't know what data is. Okay, so data is the array I want. Data is the array I want. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, data is what we want. So I'm going to return off the data. I'm going to say return res.data.map because I got to return the IDs, right? So here's a hero, and I'm going to return this object because remember I said we had to do a handle route. So we're going to do hero slash hero.id. All right. So now I'm returning an array of the hero IDs. So now I'm going to rerun this thing. Clear. And so now I'm returning an array of these objects that have a route in them. And now Scully's like, all right, I can actually go render those. So let's give it a second. It's going to find them all. Okay. So there's 1,500 heroes. Oh, my bad. Got to put / in the front. Yo, we got to get our errors down, Kano. Okay, run it again. Sorry, everyone. All right, here we go. Now it's going to work. All right, there we go. Okay, so found 100 hero IDs. It's rendering them. So it rendered our 100 pages. Took 139 milliseconds per page. That goes down the more you render, just because it has a little bit of boot up time. Okay, so we rendered all those pages. So now, if I come up into our static site and I look in our heroes, we've got like 100 pages that it generated. Okay, and now if I come over here to Reactive Angular, these should all work now because they should all be in the first 100. Okay, so these are all working. I can click on any of those. I can click on here. I can go back to all here. Back to all. So I've kind of pre-generated my website, and I wouldn't need to ship this. If I wrote it in a certain way, I wouldn't even have to ship. It's not even to call the API in production. So it's actually really, really powerful. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to show today. I have my Angular app. You need to teach it how to get routes. So today I showed everyone how to make a simple plugin. So again, all you do is you need to match this API. You're going to make a router plugin, give it a name, and then you're going to give it a function that returns a promise of an array of these IDs. Okay. So instead of using the Marvel API, if I had used Firebase, or if I had used MySQL or WordPress or whatever, instead of using the Marvel API node module, I could have used the WordPress API module, some Firestore modules. Like, it's just Node. It's just simple stuff. So, and that's all it really takes to make one of these things. Okay, so it's pretty simple. If anyone has any questions, you can reach out to me or Kano. Actually, let's take questions real quick. Someone said, is it SEO friendly? Yeah, I mean, the point of this, Mohammed, is that it's SEO friendly, right? Like, the point of this is that you can pre-render your Angular site. So I could put all sorts of content in my metadata in the head. I could do, anything I want. And now it's pre-rendered. So if Google crawls my website, this version of my site is now fully SEO friendly, right? Like, to download my page, I don't know if anyone's looking, but it was 30 kilobytes to get that page versus, the several hundred, versus the megabytes it was when it was in Angular. So it's, 1,000th of the size. It's much, much, much smaller. Even on a mobile device with 3G, this thing is going to appear like instantaneously. Like, this page will appear instantaneously. Okay. So in fact, I haven't done this, but let's try an audit. Should we do an audit? Simulated 3G. Let's do it. Turn on the mobile. Say do an audit. Run audit. Oh yeah, sorry. JavaScript's disabled, so we gotta enable JavaScript. Disable Java. Wait, it was already enabled? Enable Java. All right, run it. All right, come on. All right, we're gonna work on that. Should be much higher.
Yeah, but it's because you're enabled JavaScript. So
yeah.
wait
it has
to
to.
the end. Really, the bots don't wait a lot. Check this SEO with JavaScript. Without JavaScript, it's really more fast and work more fast. You are in localhost.
Yeah.
The bill is not the production bill, and all of this. So these numbers are really okay. We are showing a lot of image, but without JavaScript, with the build in production, these numbers.
Yeah, these numbers. Here, let's do the same thing here. Let's come over here, and we'll say we'll do a build real quick. So I'm going to say ng build prod, and then do npm run Scully. Right? Sorry, I'll get rid of that thing. Okay, so we just did build prod run Scully. Can we change the default folder for blog post schematics using source assets? Of course.
Yes and no. The thing of this is you have one schematic, the name is Markdown, and you can set and prefix the folder. We don't use source asset because Angular is checking this folder and we are checking another's. We're checking folders in the root because it's more easy for write your MDs. But you can change. I don't recommend really because your app is trying to get all assets and all, so it's strange.
Come on. I don't think I've hit my limit for today with the Marvel API. But if I have, so someone asked, is the pagination working here? Yeah. So the pagination, until I add links for the pages, the pagination can't work. And okay, so Bajik, I'm saying your name wrong and I apologize, but your question is great. So someone's like, Bajik's like, is the pages working? So if I added, if I click page 2 and I added the page into the URL, then I could get the paging to also be offline as well. But any state that you want to be able to crawl, and this is true for all JAMStack environments, anything that you want to be able to crawl to, or you want the Google crawler to be able to crawl to, needs to have its own URL. So if I go to page 2 and I put, up here, P2 or whatever, then at that point, I could crawl to that as well. All right. So that is something that you could totally do. But you'd have to build your app accordingly. So, and then if I hit next again, if I went to P3, then at that point, I could make a UI that put all this stuff into the URLs. I could write a plugin to enumerate those, and then I could tell it to crawl up for each of those. So to kind of answer your question about, you'd have to build your app in a way where you could get to any page through the URL. And as soon as you did that, then yeah, you could do this as a JAMStack application very, very easily. So yeah. Any other questions? We're going to get better at presenting this stuff, I promise. We're going to get better error messages, right, Jorge? Right?
Yes.
We're going to get it to where if you don't have a config validator, we just warn you and move on. So you don't have to interrupt your whole day. We'll just give you a warning that you didn't add a config validator and we'll move on. We'll make it so you can import stuff from your local project so you're not lost in the middle of a demo with people on YouTube, which is frustrating. Anyway, if anyone has questions, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter. I'm just at Aaron Frost, and I'm guessing that if you're here, you probably saw this from my Twitter. If you want to have any, if you want to use the project, head over to GitHub and check out Scully.io/Scully. And if anyone has any questions about what the JAMStack is, our friends at Netlify have a book about the JAMStack. I would go and talk to the Netlify people. They're great educators around the JAMStack. So Anyway, unless there's any questions, I'm going to move on. I kind of missed the intro, but where do I modify these pages? Which pages? I don't understand.
Maybe your hero list page.
So I don't know. I still don't understand.
It's just Angular. Yeah, it's Angular.
Yeah, it's just Angular. So like,
yeah.
I built this app with Angular. So if you want to know how my app is built, so in my app component, so in my app component, yeah, that's not what it. Okay, yeah. So my app component, it just has the template with the header, with the route and the footer, right? So if you come over here, this is the header, this is the footer, and then there's a route controller in here. So if I go to my route, that default route uses this content component, which just renders the hero table. And this hero table, it's got like, the pages, it's got the search input. So this is just an Angular app. Like I built the whole app in Angular. And then here's your content where it just does an ng4 over all the heroes that it found, right? And they're all links. So when you click on them, they go to the next page. So yeah, like in a very real sense, this is just an Angular app. That's kind of the cool thing about it, Henry, is that it's just Angular. Like I'm not doing anything special. For other static site generators, like with React, if you're going to use Gatsby, you do kind of need to write it a very Gatsby way. Angular CLI forces you to do it a certain way already, so we didn't need to put any handcuffs around Angular developers. So this is going to be much easier for Angular developers to use. And in fact, once we have React support, I think it will be easier for React developers to use as well. So yeah, this is gonna be very, very easy to use for developers. So yeah. Any other questions? Great questions, by the way. Mohammed said, "How do I make static page if I use Firestore database?" So that's a really good question. So your build would use the Firestore, and so that your build would use the Firestore to generate your app at build time, and then you would ship that to production. And your app would work without the Firestore. So hey, how about I'll do a Firestore version of this next week. We're adding some functionality this next week, just so everyone knows, that will allow me to. So when I let me just kind of show you an example of what we're adding that will happen next week. So when I click on Absorbing Man right here, okay, Absorbing Man, when it loads, it actually makes a request to the Marvel API for Absorbing Man. If I go to the network, one second, let's open up the network. You can see it called the API to get his ID, right? So it made that request. And I don't like that it did that because I wanted my app to not request more data at runtime and only request the data at build time, so that I could ship this to production without actually needing a backend. So we're adding this support this week called transfer state. Okay. So it will allow me to, when I'm running inside of Scully, request data and save it to my current page. And then when I'm running in production as a JavaScript app, I can say, hey, if I'm not running in Scully, just pull the data that you got during the build. And so you're able to use this transfer state idea that people who use Universal will very, very readily understand the transfer state concept. And then that way, you'll be able to put the data on the page at build time, and then at runtime, when your users are loading the page, they won't have to make this runtime request to the Marvel API. It'll just be part of the page because we're using the transfer state API. But we'll release that this week, and then we'll do a post so you can see, hey, how does transfer state work? How does it speed my app up even more? So yeah, that's kind of what that is. We have a way of doing transfer state, but it's not ideal. Right now, it's not ideal, so I'm not going to teach it. But we totally could do it. I'm just not going to do it for right now. So yeah. Anyway, Any more questions? If there's no more questions, I'm just going to end this and we'll do another broadcast next week. I'll try and do several the next week, and we'll release these videos in the documentation so that people have like a better way of doing this. So anyway, if anyone has questions, reach out to me on Twitter. Appreciate your time. Thank you.